Hello everybody, welcome to this video. We are going to be talking about dream time, the mind, how we can program ourselves, how we have been programmed by the matrix, how we can deprogram ourselves using different techniques including dream time meditation, etc. We'll talk a little bit about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and all of that good jazz. So these are tools that we can use right now, right here, to clear our canvas, to make us a fuller us, to find ourselves to who we already are underneath all the layers, all the programming, all the stories, all the traumas. And it's a great time right now to clear that canvas so we may be of better service to others and the whole. Okay, so I'm excited to share this video. Dream time, the mind and programming. First of all, we're going to go back to the Trinity. I've spoken about the Trinity multiple times. This is the Ascension Trinity. It is a blueprint from Sirius, how most of my information comes in. So we have the conscious mind, as we know, and we have our subconscious mind, right? Our conscious mind is subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is related to things that we are conscious about, the left side of our brain, what's happening here right now. Oh, I have to do shopping. That's our conscious mind. It's more linear thinking. The subconscious mind is connected to our intuition, our fears, our phobias, connected to our connection to higher sources, our creativity, all of that. Conscious and subconscious mind. And we have the superconscious mind. You could call it, there are many different names for all of these, so I'm going to express them in different names, as you may know them, but just to start off, the superconscious mind is, all that we are all plugged into. All of our minds are kind of plugged into a big hard drive where everything that is, has happened, will happen, is happening, is all kind of recorded there. All the information that ever existed is connected to the superconscious, and we as beings are able to tap into that. We can tap into the superconscious. When you see beautiful people who are being channels or receiving information, they are tapping from their conscious mind into their subconscious, and through their subconscious mind they can tap into the superconscious. So for example, when I was doing a meditation, I needed the word for muse in Chinese. I used my conscious mind asking, going into meditation, asking what I needed. I asked my subconscious mind to extract that information from the superconscious, and I received the translation of muse in Chinese. I've never spoken Chinese before. I didn't even know. I went and Googled it afterwards, and I was right. So this is kind of how we can receive other information. That is also kind of how it works. Like if someone asked me, you know, what should I do if I'm doing a reading, for example, and someone's asking me, what should I do with this and this question? Well, I am consciously asking myself, I'm asking through my subconscious, but I'm tapping into the superconscious. In the superconscious, that person's higher self is also present, and all-knowing is present. And what's more harmonious for the collective consciousness, etc. is all present there. That's all I'm tapping into. And I'm bringing those answers back into my conscious mind and sharing that. So this is what we can all do when we practice, and meditation is a very good first step to get here. This is what we're doing. Okay, so it's not, I can do this, it's not big magic either. It's just a natural ability that we all have, that this matrix system has us believing that we don't have that possibility, that extra sense, but that's false, in my truth. Okay, so I'm going to talk just a little bit more about conscious, subconscious, and superconscious, and then we're going to go a little deeper. So you could also say we have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and we have dream time, right? So when we are very conscious, in this world, in this living, sometimes we don't have a lot of dreams. And sometimes our subconscious helps us with our dream time. You know, when you have these really weird dreams that, you know, don't really have much meaning, usually it was just a bunch of information of the day you just felt. You know, that specific day you went shopping, etc., and then at night you just dreamt about packaged food all night. But if we connect to our superconscious, we can actually tap into the real strength or power of dream time, because then we're using our conscious, our subconscious mind into our superconscious mind, and we can program ourselves to learn during dream time, to go visit others, to heal ourselves, to do many different things, to travel to different dimensions. And we can do that during our dream time. We can program ourselves during the dream time. And I'll speak a little bit more about in detail how we can do this. So the important thing to know about dream time is our body, this avatar, this vehicle, this rent-a-car, right, we have right now, needs rest and needs sleep, and it needs an X amount of oil, and you got to change the wheels and all of that, right? We need food and water, etc. But our soul has an endless amount of energy, and doesn't have the same restrictions as our body does, right? So the soul doesn't need to sleep. So when our vehicle, our body, our avatar is sleeping, the soul can project its consciousness into a different place in time and do whatever it wants to do. It could project itself in a different dimension. It could just stay where it is. It could be programmed to do healing, teaching, lots of different things. So does that make sense? Just because our body is sleeping and recuperating, it doesn't mean that our soul needs that too. Our spirit, our mind, may need that too, but not particularly our soul. Not always do we need the mind to rest as much, or the spirit, let me say. Okay, so conscious. The same as conscious is masculine thinking, linear thinking. The subconscious is connected to, we spoke about intuition, phobias, creativity. That's the feminine side of the brain, if you will. This is the left side, this is the right side of the brain. Non-linear thinking. And when we go beyond that, it's beyond time and space. We're connecting to the collective consciousness, superconsciousness. You could also see it as three-dimension. Masculine thinking, linear thinking is of the third dimension, is how we function there. We are now adding, we're going through this ascension process, so we are adding elements of the fourth dimension right now. We are connecting to our higher selves. We are connecting to all of those things. And once we can connect our conscious and subconscious mind, the third dimension, with the fourth dimension, can we truly connect to the fifth dimension? Can we truly connect to the superconscious? Right? So, you could also say that the conscious mind is connected to the humanoid story. You know, when we have interactions with another beautiful human being, we can sometimes have a really humanoid story, like, I'm jealous of you, and you're mad at me, and they're kind of, it's like high school, it's child's play. This is the humanoid story. It's third dimensional thinking. It's conscious thinking, masculine linear thinking. Now, when we connect to the subconscious, fourth dimension, feminine way of thinking, we are also connecting to our celestial higher self. To our higher self lives on the fourth dimension. We are connecting to that. And through bringing balance, through connecting these two, can we really connect to the collective consciousness? Does that make sense? And when I speak about masculine and feminine, I'm not saying like this is a man and this is a woman. We all have masculine and feminine within us, and we all have that part, right? There's no better, there's no worse. There is what is, and we are perfectly designed to enhance each other. Just how this is perfectly designed from the 3D to the 4D for that balance point is to ascend to the fifth dimension, to ascend to the superconscious, collective consciousness. Or if you will, we'll put in some psychology here and we'll talk about Carl Jung. Carl Jung talked about, we have the ego mind, we have the personal personal unconscious, and we have the collective unconscious, right? But he called it unconscious. I would like to say that when you train yourself and you use meditation and different tools, this personal unconscious and collective unconscious can be conscious. So that our conscious mind, our ego, our subconscious, or our subconscious and collective consciousness can all be conscious. We can connect to all three of these at the same time. That's what we're going to. That is what this ascension is about. Okay, in Freud, he would call it the ID. The conscious mind is the ID. The subconscious he calls the ego, and he calls the collective unconsciousness the superego. Okay? But we're all talking about the same thing. It doesn't matter if we're talking in it a more spiritual way. Oops, my alarm clock. Spiritual manner or a more scientific manner. We're all talking about the same thing. I hope I have you guys on board here. So, let's get rid of this all for a second. And let's talk about what's happening with us right now. Once we go through this ascension, adding our third dimensional self, fourth dimensional self, or conscious, and unconscious minds together, we are able to tap into the superconscious, the collective conscious, the fifth dimension. Superconscious. Let's call it the superconscious. We can put any word here depending which lens you're looking through, right? Once we tap into this, once we basically made, let me see if I can get another color here. Once we made a connection between the sub and unconscious, subconscious and conscious. This is when we're able to tune into our higher selves, tune into our intuition more. We can step out of ourselves and we can look at ourselves. Wow, I'm consciously reacting in a jealous manner right now because you're watching from here and you're like, wow, this has got to do with my trauma from back in the day. And you can literally watch yourself doing this humanoid story. But you're watching yourself from your fourth dimension, from a higher perspective, and you can actually see what you're doing. And once you realize what's going on, once you yourself can see your patterns and your go-tos, your personalities, your pains, your traumas, that's when you can do something about it. And in the beginning, you are just realizing it. And when you start to realize these things, you could go through a hard moment like, wow, I do all of those things, and you never knew that you did all of that. It's not who you are. These are conditions that have happened to us. These are traumas that have happened to us. It's not who we are. And we should be thankful when we start to realize these patterns we've been having, these traumas we have. And then we have the choice to dissolve them. But I will tell you, 70% of the work is just realizing you have those patterns, those traumas, those things. That's 70% of the work, just realizing. And you may be realizing it for a day, 2 years, months, whatever it is. And then you have the choice to do something about it. But the doing comes easy. First, your mind has to get over the fact and actually be able to realize your patterns. And then, every day, a little bit more and more, you will change your patterns and start to change that. With practice, with dedication, with discipline. It takes a real wanting to do it, right? A real choice. Okay, so the third conscious, we want to connect it to the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. Once we have this connection between the subconscious and conscious, we sometimes start to tap into the superconscious. So if you do a lot of practice with your intuition or meditation, and some of us who are more, you know, masculine linear thinking, we don't have to do meditation. It can be contemplation. It doesn't have to always look like, you know, the sage in the mountains in the Himalayas. We are all different and unique. Then we can start tapping into the superconscious, where we just know things, where information comes through, where we can tap into the superconscious and get any answer of any question that we want at any time and moment. This is what we're heading to while we're ascending, is at some point we're fully going to live in this superconscious area. We can still tap into the conscious and subconscious, but this is kind of a mix of both subconscious and conscious right up here. That's where we're going to. In a place where we are all connected to the superconscious, people could never decide to kill someone, because it would be as if they're killing their self, because they're stuck in the superconscious where we're connected to everything and everyone. Does that make sense? People who have transcended to a superconscious way of thinking, every time they throw plastic in the ocean, they will feel it as if someone had just, you know, put a knife in their rib, because they know it's wrong. Does that make sense? So in a place where everybody is connected to the superconscious, we are transparent, we are honest, we are all of these things, because the way our thinking is, the way our consciousness is, it has raised up to something that we cannot even begin to realize if we are still only stuck in our conscious mind. Okay, so I'm not going to go too deep into this right now, but I want to talk about how we've been programmed and stuck into this third dimension. So, since we were little kids, we have been stuck into the third dimension, our conscious mind, linear thinking. And we think there is nothing else that exists. There's just this, because that's what we've been taught. Wait! Because that's what our parents have been taught, that's what we've been taught in school, and that's what everything that reflects around us keeps us here. In the third dimension, in the conscious mind. As we just talked about, without the subconscious and superconscious, we can't evolve, we can't get further, we can't see ourselves from an outside perspective. We cannot receive all the love and wisdom and knowledge that's there for the grasping for everybody. It's our birthright to be connected to the superconscious. It's our birthright to be connected to our higher selves. It's our birthright. And since many thousands of years, we have been kept in a little tiny box of the third dimension, and they have done, the other forces have kept us there and blocked us in there so much that we believe that superconscious and subconscious abilities are lies. It is a fantasy. It is a story. It is a movie. It is a Disney World story. And they have kept us in this box. But you know, we are amazing souls of light, unlimited power, unlimited power. Our imagination is our only limit. Our only limit is your own imagination. The sky is not the limit. There is way more limit beyond the sky. And nothing is too true. What do they say? It's too good to be true. That is another thing that we've been programmed with. So, we need to, it would be beneficial if you wish, to step out of this box into this limited paradigm and take control of your life. How do you take control of your life? Clean your canvas, do your meditation, do whatever practice that resonates with you, that helps you connect to your subconscious mind. Your intuition, your creativity, all of these things. How can you do that? You could start playing guitar if you don't play an instrument. Start singing. Start practicing your intuitive powers. Do a course. There are many, many things. Clearing the canvas. And we'll talk more about these things as we go down these videos. Yeah. Everything we see on the news, in the newspapers, not everything, but most things right now are set up to keep us in this paradigm of the third dimension. What we learn in school, even logos of certain companies emit certain vibrations that keep us in this third dimension. So it's beneficial to surround us with as high vibrational place as we can. Right? So how do we deprogram ourselves? That takes a while too, but it starts by connecting to our subconscious mind. So we can deprogram our patterns, deprogram everything that was taught to us. For those of you who have gone through the dark night of the soul, that's what you went through. All that you knew that was true was laid in a puddle, and you knew nothing. You didn't know what was true or false, and you had to, one step at a time, take your truth and decide whether it was true or not. And you had to crawl back to this existence. And that was a deprogramming. That was an initiation, as well as a big step forward of deprogramming yourself. Does that make sense? So dream time. Dream time, we could, before we go to bed, for example, using the tools that most relate to you in the way that most relates to you, we can set the intention, use crystals, use a meditation, a prayer, to program our mind to do something during our dream time. Many times I will ask for extra rest if I can feel my spirit, my mind has been very busy during the day. Sometimes I will ask for extra healing. Sometimes I will ask to work with all of you guys on another dimension. Sometimes I ask for answers. Once I had Einstein teach me the science behind yoga. And I woke up and I just knew all the answers. And I was like, oh, thanks. We can program ourselves doing many different things. Asking them to help with the growth of our ascension, all of these things. But we have to do it with our conscious mind first. So don't do it half falling asleep going into dream time, but take a moment before sleeping to rest your mind, put yourself in a slow pace or a meditative state, and then connect to that, set your intention, your prayer. You can also use memory or crystals, you can program them to help you, assist you. Yeah, and then when your vehicle, your avatar, your rent-a-car over here is sleeping, your soul can carry on doing things. You could also ask to connect to your origins, meet your soul family, your galactic family, whatever it is. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Yes. How can we start to program ourselves? When we are in a meditative state, if you will, if we are connected to the subconscious, right? We have the conscious mind that's here, busy, alert. But when we get into a meditative state, where basically our conscious and subconscious mind are connected at that moment in time. Remember, our subconscious mind is where all the phobias, our traumas, and all of these things, as well as our inspiration, our connection to higher forces, connection to the superconscious is. So when we want to program ourselves with positive programming, we need to connect to our subconscious mind. So if we are, for example, in hypnotherapy, that's what they do. You're in a hypnotic state and we are putting information into your subconscious mind. Like you could tell your subconscious mind that you love yourself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And your subconscious mind, you can relate it to a 2-year-old child. The subconscious mind has no filter. It's not like the conscious mind. Anything it hears, it takes as truth, anything. So if you've been told as a little girl for your whole life that you are not worthy of love, you are not worthy of love, you may grow up thinking that you are not worthy of love because you've been programmed that way, because someone's been talking to your subconscious mind, and somewhere down the line you decided to take it as a truth, right? But the truth is, you are worthy of love. And so now we have to deprogram this program that's been set into our subconscious, and we have to feed ourselves positive information to override that old program. Does that make sense? So if every day we tell ourselves, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, and maybe one moment you have a really hard time and you're like, oh, I really dislike myself. But then you can quickly override that with, wait a minute, no, I love myself, and you cancel that. Does that make sense? You can cancel it out. So if we have a whole life of trauma, being told that we're not worthy of love, we have a lot of I love yous to balance out, right? We got to get the quota back. So it takes a while. It takes constant practice, constant doing. And in the beginning, you won't even believe it, because our conscious mind is just nagging away, and maybe it takes a month of just telling yourself every day or every time you pass a doorway that you love yourself, and in the beginning your conscious mind does not even believe it, doesn't want to take it on. But the thing is, we are not programming your conscious mind, we are trying to program your subconscious mind. And like we said, your subconscious mind is like a child. Anything it hears, it will take literally and make it its own. So you just tell your subconscious mind 1,000 million times that you love yourself. And at one point in time, your subconscious mind is going to delete that old program and take this new program you've been trying to program it with and take it as its truth. And once that is said in your subconscious mind, your conscious mind will believe it too. So this could take a week, a day, a month, a year, depending on you. Depending on that trauma, depending on many things. So that these are ways we can reprogram ourselves. So great times to reprogram ourselves is in the morning when we wake up, and also in the evening, any moment of the day, but also in the morning and the evening before going to bed. Program. I want to stop drinking. I am stopping drinking. I am becoming a healthier person. I am eating the right food. These are things you want to say to yourself, if that's what you're wanting to change, if those are the programs you're wanting to change. Now, language is important because, see, if I say I am going to eat better food, I'm telling myself that in a future time that is not now, I may start eating food in a healthier manner. But the truth is, you want to tell your subconscious now, I am eating healthy food. I am eating healthier food every day. I'm eating healthier every day as I go by. Do you see how that language is bringing us to the present moment? That it means that you are already doing it. Because remember, 70% of the work is just your mind thinking it, you deciding it, you noticing it. So by you saying, I am being more healthy with food, it is because you decided you wanted to change that, and in the physical it takes a little bit longer, and you will. And every day, more and more so, you're getting closer to that. It's a journey. It isn't black and white the next day. Some of you may work that fast, and it will be, but not everybody. Okay? So these are ways we can deprogram and put new programs in. It's very good to do it when we're in a meditative state or a contemplative state, or when basically our brain waves are going slow, more not as active. So before, just the first minutes before, as we get into a meditation, or after our meditation, intention before our yoga practice, after our yoga practice, before dream time, after dream time, all of these things. For example, every day, exactly when you wake up, give yourself gratitude. Tell yourself every day before you do anything else, I love myself. I am living a healthier life. I am going to have an amazing, beautiful day. I am thankful for every breath, and I love my family, and today is going to be an amazing day. You are programming yourself every single day. And soon that's what's happening. I am constantly programming and deprogramming. I am constantly programming and deprogramming myself. I've been doing this for years. And there's a long list of things, right? And every time I decide, oh, I'm going to concentrate on this, and now on this, and now on that. We can't do it all. Just choose one thing first. Just one little simple thing. I want to stop, sucking my thumb. I want to stop being so angry all the time. Simple. And work on that. And later down the line, depending on your practice, you could work on 2 or 3 things at the same time. You could work on a constant thing all the time while adding to work on different areas. So this is a really global video because we could be talking for a long, long time about this, and there's so many details of this. And I would love any specific questions if you have them, write them, and I would love to get back to you with those things. Okay, what else? Programming the mind and dream time. Yes. So what I do want to do is I want to explain the theory of meditation. For those of you who don't or do meditate, is quite important because a lot of, I'm going to say something pretty bold, a lot of what people think meditation is false information. It is information that keeps us in the box, in the 3rd dimension. And meditation, writing, hypnotic state, in-between states, they are tools that we can use to do stuff like heal ourselves, deprogram ourselves, program ourselves. And so there's a lot of schools out there or people who are not conscious of it, but that manner of meditation is not productive. And it may have been productive 100 years ago, but right now where we're at, we can handle more. And by using meditation and programming of our conscious and subconscious, superconscious, all of that, we can use it as a tool to benefit us. And we can see changes really, really rapid. But it's essential that we understand that it's a tool, and I'm sure many of you are already doing it. So maybe we can go into a little bit more detail of that. Yeah. Okay, this is all for this video. I'm just going to tune in if there's anything extra to share. Just a sharing of, don't worry, you're doing great exactly where you are. You're always at the right time, at the right place. Life doesn't give you something you can't handle. We may freeze up for a moment, but if we tune in, there is always guidance. People are always waiting to help us. But sometimes it's hard to listen, or sometimes it's hard to hear. And thus it's important we clear the canvas so we can connect to our higher selves, our subconscious, so we can connect to other dimensions, people wanting to help us connect to the superconscious. Once we connect to the superconscious, all of our actions would be for the greater good. Every breath we take would be for the greater good because we are connected. We are not separate from the superconscious, from every being that is. So you guys are doing great exactly where you are. Don't worry if you're not where somebody else is. You're not that person. You have different stories. You have different timelines, different karmas. It's not better or worse. We are all doing super important work as individuals. Every brick on the wall is important to keep that wall up and nice and sturdy and build that foundation of love, compassion, and wisdom. Every single person deserves love, compassion, and wisdom every day. Because every day, every moment, we have a chance to be better. We do not judge others. We do not judge who they were and what they did. But we could maybe find inspiration about what they did with those experiences, and how they learn from those lessons and how they change their life. And if they don't know how to learn from those lessons and change their lives from those quote-unquote mistakes that don't really exist, mistakes don't exist, FYI, but then we guide them. Then we give love and compassion to our brothers and sisters, and we guide them. Because if we expect to have love and compassion from our fellow man, our fellow woman, then we must be the first to give it to ourselves and to others. We need to be the bigger person. Right? Every moment, every day, we meet the person where they're at today and right now. We've all made mistakes. Mistakes that don't exist. We've all made, choices that are just lessons that we have been given. It's what we do with those lessons. Right? I did silly things when I was younger. I didn't know better, but I learned from them. And sometimes I had to go through that lesson 10 times before I learned it, and 100 times. But we can do it. And we assist those who are struggling with it. Because we were also there. Right? Just because right now we have learned that lesson doesn't make us better nor worse. We're just here right now. And that's okay. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope this video serves, and I wish you all a beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you.